Mr. Heartlight here again. Today I want to talk to you about sauerkraut, about making sauerkraut, how to make sauerkraut. And you may ask, well, what in blazes does sauerkraut and making sauerkraut have to do with grief? Well, that's what I'm about to tell you. Because it's about, a lot of it's to do about maintaining our health. And about looking at historically what has maintained people's health. When we're grieving, our immune system is at the pits. We need all the help we can get. We need our body to feel good so our brain can function better, and we can better survive this journey when we're healthy. And which means breathing, number one. Breathing. I'll emphasize, you got to breathe in as much as you can. Hydrate. Drink as much water as you can, because you forget, you can't drink too much. Well, you can, and you flush out electrolytes if you drink a whole ton, but it's pretty hard to do that too much. But just try to drink as much water as you can. Stay hydrated. You feel much better. Your eyes feel better. Your skin feels better. Your moods feel better. Everything feels better when you're hydrated. And you got to make a lot of trips to the bathroom. There's a caveat there, but you learn to live with that. It's good to hydrate. So you hydrate, and you breathe, and you eat. And when we're in stress, we tend to eat all the wrong things, the comfort foods. But we're talking about kraut today, and I want to talk about how to make kraut. Well, first you need some good, I'm going to make a small batch, because you can't really buy good sauerkraut. You can in the bags in the grocery store. It's a little more expensive, and it's not processed. If it's not pasteurized or put through a canning process, it still has living microorganisms, good, that set up a flora within our system, which is so beneficial. Oh, there's more probiotics in a bowl full of sauerkraut than you can get in any pill form or any other source. And it's so easy to make. Kraut is just salt and cabbage and bugs. Good bugs. Bugs that we need and bugs that man has had within their gut system forever. But now it's compromised by modern chemicals in our foods and what we eat and processed foods, and instead of all that natural stuff like in sourdoughs and kefir and yogurt. So anyway, we take our cabbage. I take the cabbage and we slice it in half. I'll give it a big whack here. There we go. Then I take another small knife and I cut the core out. Now I throw it in some water and let the cabbage soak. Then we'll put it through the slicer. But these cores, I will feed these to the horses. They love them. But I love them too. Like a giant radish, or you like kohlrabi? Yeah, real crunchy, like kohlrabi, or kind of a spicy jicama. Let the last one, throw it back in the water. Yep, back there. Let that sit in there for at least 3 hours. You need the water in the cabbage to create the juice. Hence why the next process, we slice up the cabbage on the slicer in the mandolin here. Not the mandolin you play. You wouldn't want to play this. You'd lose all your fingers. We slice up the cabbage with the mandolin, put it in a bucket, stomp it with a stomper by sprinkling salt on top of it to release the moisture that we soaked up earlier. But now it's coming out as cabbage juice. Combined with the salt, which actually helps to remove the water. So the salt and the pounding help remove a lot of water to create a lot of juice. So we need all the shredded cabbage to be under the juice, and that is where all this good bacteria happens, underneath with a non-oxygen environment below. The oxygen environment produces all the mold and all the icky stuff on top, and so that's what we want to try to reduce. Well, now that the cabbages have been soaking for 3 hours, my, how time flies when you're having fun, isn't it? Well, now I'm going to put them into the mandolin, like I say. Very careful when you're using a cabbage slicer. They have 3 very sharp blades. So we put a cabbage in here, slide it across the blades, and dump it in down below. So we take one of our cabbages that's soaking here in the water. We'll remove any of the large, there's not too many in here, pieces in the way. We drain off a little bit of the water so we don't have all the loose water. Put it in here, put the thing on top, and we push it against the blades. See, it doesn't take too many swipes Whoop. And I keep putting it back in. That's what I do. Just keep plopping it in there. And to put another little one in here. Drain that water off over here. Probably much smarter to do it in the sink. Then I put that on top there. Slide it across. Notice how I got it situated against the counter here with a nice tub of Tupperware beneath to catch all the sliced cabbage. Much better than trying to do this with a knife. Much faster. All this lovely, lovely shredded cabbage. Now comes the time to put the salt on and to pound the kraut. I prefer to use Celtic seasoning salt because it's right from the ocean. It's got all these natural minerals and wonderful things in Celtic salt. So I use this in everything that I cook with. So I'm going to sprinkle some of that in here, and then we'll do some pounding. And it's about 2% salt, 2% salt of the total mixture. So you just want to sprinkle some in. You want it to taste salty by a test. Salty enough because you need the salt to drive the water out, but not too salty to ruin the taste of it. But you need enough salt to actually prevent some of the bad bacteria that may form on the top. Sprinkle the salt on, and then we just pound. Add just a little bit more salt. Keep pounding. Starting to get some juice coming up now. Taste it a little bit. Just a little bit more. A little bit more salt. Okay, now we're ready to put it into another container to ferment for 3 weeks. Well, there you can see all the juices, so it's ready. We're going to put it in this here glass jar to ferment for about 3 weeks in the back room. But right now, I'm still working on my kraut that I made this fall. It's good for about 9 months in the refrigerator. It just gets better. All those good probiotics are in there. So this is what good finished kraut 3-month-old looks like. And it is so good. But I've got to take this out now and put it into a bucket. So, ooh, sorry about that. So I'm going to pour some of the juice back in on top when I start it. It's like it kind of inoculates it, give it a real good boost to start off with. So when I'll dump the cabbage into here, yeah, can you see that there? Let's see if I can do this without making too much of a mess. Look at that. Hup. There's a little bit on the cutting board. Yeah, get it in there, packed in there nicely. Pour a little of this good inoculant juice out here. Gonna hold some of that back. I like to drink this too. My mom, she used to buy 6-packs of sauerkraut juice. I call Frank's sauerkraut juice. And it says, good for that logy feeling after over-imbibing, right on the can. It said it was good for a hangover. It's funny, I don't see it in cans anymore, but there is truth to that. It is your immune system. And when you're having good sauerkraut, not the canned stuff really, but good fresh sauerkraut, really boosts your immune system. That you suffer less from over-imbibing, if that should happen in your life. So try it next time. Just put a beer old can opener, church key on one of those cans of sauerkraut and drink the juice out of it. Works every time. I filled up a bag of water. Just get a plain old generic garbage bag, kitchen bag. Make sure it's non-scented. That can be a horrible thing should it happen and ruin your wonderful coleslaw with that stinky, flurry stuff they put on the bag linings. But so get a good plain bag, fill it with water, and about a 1/4 cup of salt in it. The salt makes the water denser, so it's heavier. And we don't want any air to come in contact with our new baby kraut, because air will just make it rot and turn out horrible and bad. So don't worry, if you're worried about poisoning yourself, you will know If your cabbage goes bad because it's contaminated, not enough salt, or too much air contacts it, it will get rotten and you'll know it'll smell awful. If not, it'll smell like good kraut. It'll be maybe a little discolored on the edges if the air creeps in there, but for the most part, it'll stay nice. Back in the day, they put a wood board on it with a stone, and the stone would keep the weight down. The board would keep, just so the juice would rise and cover the kraut, keep the air off of it, and that's what they did. Then they just discard that quarter-inch, half-inch layer of garbage on top. But on my own, I developed this idea that instead of using, they used to use cabbage leaves and a weight, and I said, how about a weight of a bag and a bladder? It gets the perfect airtight seal. It just goes around every crevice. So, okay, we got it in there. Now I got it double bagged here. That's a double bagger. And I put it down and push it down. Now you can see the juice coming up around the edges. So I will put this in the back room. I'll probably just put this over it to keep it, the sunlight off of it. I had a plastic lid here somewhere that I put, oh, there it is. Just one of those cheap little things you get from the top of the shrimp gold platters at Costco. Perfect for putting on top of a bucket. Just keeps critters out of there. Because I'm going to put this in the back room now, back in the studio, in the corner where it's nice and cool. And it'll stay there for about 3 weeks. I'll test it in about a week and a half to see how it is. I don't want to get too much air in there. But in 3 weeks, I should have good, crunchy, the best kraut you've ever had. Oh, in fact, I'll show you what it looks like. This is the real stuff right here. Right here. Right? See that? Oh. It's so good. I bet it hurts right here if you're watching me. Does it hurt right along your chin line? Oh, swallowing like a Pavlov dog. Well, whoa, okay. Well, that's how to make sauerkraut. Well, now, we finished with the kraut. Now I just got to clean up the mess. But as you see, it's a process. A very careful process. It may seem haphazard, but I like things in the KISS method. You know, the KISS method, to keep it simple, silly. So that's what I do with the kraut method. You could overdo it, but as long as you stay within the safety parameters of the salt. But what I'm getting to is, it's like grief. It's a process. It's a process that takes time. When you hear that verbiage, the aphorism that people say that, time heals all wounds. Baloney. It's not time doesn't heal wounds. It's what you do with the time that heals wounds. And like making this kraut. You know, you could easily just go out and get the quick fix and buy a can of kraut, right? It's available everywhere. For the most part, what do people like with kraut? They put it on their damn hot dog or a bratwurst. They really don't use the benefit of the kraut, of what it's for. It's been around for, centuries and years. I mean, before Christ walked the earth. And it can be used in so many ways. Not just to put on a bratwurst. It's healthy. I take it like medicine, eat it every day. But I found that out. I've been 30 years on this grief journey and found out what worked and what doesn't. And in our grief, our diet suffers so much because we want those comfort foods. We want that mac and the cheese, and we got those bag of chips and we're munching away on it. Our belt is getting tighter, and then we say, I gotta do something about this. But then in our grief, then we're on a down day, and we're saying, damn it, life's too short. I need some happiness. I need some joy in my life. And that chocolate cake, even though I'm not a chocolate cake eater, I know that chocolate has a certain chemical draw. It is helpful in grief, actually. So as Darcy Sims used to say, eating chocolate-covered potato chips, the perfect grief food. And she said that in jest, right? Because chocolate is and comfort food, and salt and grease and fried stuff is our comfort food. But it's not a health food, and a lot of people struggle with weight and health issues in their grief. And so we learned in the 4 pillars of strength, the body, mind, soul, and spirit, that we've got to work on them equally. And part of that is the body. And I said before, breathing is one. Drinking water is another one. Hydrating and breathing. And then it's eating a balanced diet. And that's what I want to talk about with making the kraut today. That you can do things on your own to improve your health. Maybe it takes a little extra work to make this sauerkraut, but it lasts a long time. But it's not only that. When you're doing something, you put love into it. And then I give so much kraut away. And that's why, you ever been to a restaurant, and it's so good. And there's some little old lady back there making a soup. And, you could probably do a test of people following the same recipe. But the food at a little restaurant or a little cafe and a little diner, a little dive, tastes so good because they love what they're doing for the most part. And they're making their meal and they're putting love into it. And you could taste it. I think love changes food at a molecular level. And that's why it tastes better, because love is in it. You only get so much love at Arby's and McDonald's, really, You might have a nice kid on duty that maybe, put a little extra tenderness when he fries those fries in the deep fryer, and maybe that helps, I don't know. But for the most part, it's eat healthy food. Know what you're eating. Enjoy what you're eating. And we're going to go more on that on the Heartlight diet when I get to the synergy diet, about how important it is to enjoy your food when you're eating it. Because you metabolize it better. You metabolize it differently. When you're sitting at a park bench, you're saying a prayer before dinner, and you're calm, and you're having gratitude for what you're about to eat. You metabolize it different. It goes to different areas. And when you're eating fast food on the go, in your car, stuffing a French fry in your mouth, gulping down a Diet Coke, and Diet Coke, don't get me going on Diet Coke, and low fat food. Oh my God, we'll get you on low fat food. But for now, this is Mr. Heartlight saying good night, and may the kraut be with you. Good night. Turn on your Heartlight.